Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. These guys from here kept saying, which I think is partly true, that the Russians do not have air supremacy over Ukraine, which is their aircraft cannot, or the bombers cannot go over Ukraine at will and destroy targets. Why I said partly? Because, obviously in current age, they have a lot of air defense systems and performant ones provided by NATO, by the United States and its vassal states. Therefore, the Russians could not operate at will. That is correct. But I haven't heard of any Ukrainian fighter jets or bombers flying over the disputed territory at all. So that's zero. We have here an article coming from the Russians saying that Russian Su-34 fighter jets delivered some little bombs to Ukraine, and they hit about 10 targets. So let's read this article coming from Sputnik. I will show you the airplane. I will show you the whatever they say happened. Remember, this is Sputnik. Russian Su-34 fighter bombers hit over 10 Ukrainian targets. So what's a Russian Su-34 fighter bomber? We have it right here, a beautiful plane. It was introduced in March 2014 in service. So it was first flight on 1990, 33 years ago, but it was introduced on 2014. Produced 2006 to present. Now, I don't kind of understand what's going on here, but in service, introduced what? In a war? Number build 155, 7 test and 148 aerial aircraft. Okay, so this is a beautiful plane. So this was the bomber used, the fighter, the bomber jet used by the Russians in this operation. So let's see what the Russians say about it. Russian Su-34 fighter bombers hit more than 10 targets of the armed forces of Ukraine in 3 directions. The South Grouping's spokesman Vadim Astafyev told Sputnik the crews of Su-34 fighter bombers of the Southern Grouping of troops hit more than 10 facilities of the armed forces of Ukraine in the Lysychansk, Soledar, Artemovsk and Alexandrov-Kalinovsk directions. So let's see where these things are. Okay, Lysychansk, Soledar, we don't know where those guys are, but let's see, Lysychansk, okay? So I identify that area in this Lysychansk right here. They say Artemovsk. Artemovsk is here, but they don't show it anymore. This is Bakhmut, but the Russians call it Artemovsk. Is not even mentioned, but I know exactly it's right here because we have Shashtor Yar right here. So, and this is the area where they attacked, in this area here, the bombers. And I looked over the same thing. These are by that in that location. Russian attack aircraft also destroyed enemy manpower in the areas of the settlements of Belogorovka, Veseloye, and Avdiivka. Again, Avdiivka. So that's all along this watchtower, right? Jimi Hendrix. So Avdiivka is right here. So here's Avdiivka. Here is Bakhmut or Artemovsk, Lysychansk right here by Liman, and then you got here Sloviansk and all this. So this is the area where they attacked. With the so basically they didn't cross into Ukraine for the reasons I already mentioned. Russian attack aircraft also destroyed. I did that. The crews of Army aviation helicopters destroyed Ukrainian armored vehicles in the areas of Kurdyumovka and Kleshchivka, the Donetsk People's Republic. Ukraine launched its much touted counteroffensive in early June, it's already dead and finished after repeatedly delaying the campaign over a lack of military supplies from its Western donors. Volodymyr Zelensky admitted that the progress was slower than desired. It's already done. So anyway, the Russians used their Su-34s and they bombarded the frontline area. They didn't cross into, obviously, and it seems like the Ukrainians still have a good air defense systems, since the Russians are incapable of flying over Ukraine at will. That's it. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.